Welcome back to Cosmic Comics. Today I'm going to discuss the history of Earth-691, the divergent timeline from which the original Guardians of the Galaxy hail. In Giant-Sized Defenders, issue number 5, published in 1975, the Guardians of the Galaxy travel back in time to the 20th century in an attempt to retrieve a genuine Badoon Minto programmer, a form of video playback device which looks a bit like a VR headset. The Guardians were hoping to discover clues as to the early days of the Badoon invasion of Earth in the year 3007. During their time on Earth-616, a young Vance Astro sees the Guardian starship, the Captain America, fall from the sky. He then runs home and tries to tell his parents what he saw, but his father threatens to spank him for his overactive imagination. This leads to young Vance being sent to his room, but instead of staying there, he looks about his room and makes the resolute decision of being a man of action, like his hero, Captain America. A short time later, he arrives at the crashed starship, where he finds Martinex in the process of repairing the ship. Martinex refuses to answer any of Vance's questions about where he's from or what things are like on his home planet. Despite Martinex's attempt to send the boy on his way, the future has already been changed. Vance Astro decides that when he grows up, he's changing his name from Vance Astro to Vance Astro. Martinex and Astro emerge from the starship Captain America together in the Defenders Volume 1, issue number 26, where they are greeted by the Defenders and the rest of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And a few panels later, the 1,000-year-old man, Vance Astro meets his childhood self, Vance Astro. The two of them walk off together, where the elder Vance offers to tell the younger the history of Earth-691. Dr. Strange, who is also standing nearby, expresses interest in hearing what Major Astro has to say. The first thing we learn is in Astro future, there are no wildflowers. Those here in the real world who lived throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s will remember a time when repairing the hole in the ozone layer and ozone depletion was kind of a big deal. In response to this, the Montreal Protocol was adopted by the world in 1987, which banned production of ozone-depleting chemicals. On Earth-697, the Montreal Protocols were never passed. The scientists had warned them what would happen, but nobody believed them until the skin cancer epidemic of 1982. Conditions worsened to the point that any time people were outside, they had to wear protective full-body clothing. Even with the use of sunsuits, the cancer rate continued to rise. During this time, nearly all food crops had to be moved to indoor agricultural spaces or the species would have starved to death. Scientists found an answer. They would repair those being eaten away by cancer by replacing parts of their body with bionics. Humanity was proud of their advancement and felt victorious about beating skin cancer. In 1988, the final mission of the space program was completed, with Major Vance Astro being sent on a 1,000-year journey to the nearest habitable planet. The rest of the United States budget was used for bionics research that ended with the bionics wars of the 1990s. During this time, armies of cyborgs from every nation on Earth fought against each other over control of a quickly disappearing supply of food. The war came to an end when a nuclear power plant exploded in what was most likely Western Canada, making the top quarter of North America completely uninhabitable. 1995 saw the signing of the Peking Treaty, whereby China, the United States, and Russia formed the first Confederation of Nations. The next 6 years were a golden age for humanity. Weapons were laid down, and the entire world worked together to rebuild a better future out of the rubble of the old world. In 2001, that golden age came to an end when Mars attacked in what is known as the War of the Worlds. The Earth's population was annihilated, scientific progress was halted, civilization collapsed, and the invading species bred humans to be used as a food source. What followed was a dark era for humanity, of which no reliable histories exist. What little information survived speaks of a charismatic man known as Killraven, who led a group known as Freemen, who were a resistance movement against the alien invaders. Sometime before 2075, the aliens, for unknown reasons, abandoned Earth. The next 500 years was a barbaric period where science only existed in centralized feudal city-states that were ruled by techno-barons. Their undoing was a war over which one of them would control the moon. The people of Earth, their serfs, refused to go to war over the moon and overthrew the techno-barons. This era came to a close in the year 2525 with the execution of the tyrant Qual. Once again, humanity rose up from the ashes, reunited, and the Second World Government was formed, the World Federation. This time, humanity was determined to reach the stars. Over the next couple of 100 years, humanity branched out from Earth and into our solar system. They used the genetic engineering of the techno-barons to breed specialized subspecies of humans that allowed humanity to survive our solar system's harshest environments. Soon, humanity could survive anywhere from Mercury to Pluto and everywhere in between. To live on Jupiter, humanity learned to overcome gravity itself and built giant, sphered cities. By the mid-2900s, humanity was building its first fleet of ships capable of interstellar travel. In the year 2960, a little less than half a century before Vance Astro would arrive, humanity made it to the Centauri star system and established peaceful contact with the Centauri. The year 3000 was celebrated by all of the Earth colonies banding together and signing on as co-equal partners in the United Federation of Earth. In the year 3006, Vance Astro arrived on Centauri to a hero's welcome. The very next year, the Badoon launched a surprise attack on all of Earth's colonies. They were expanding their galactic empire and destroyed Earth's civilization once more. For the third time in Earth-691's timeline, all of humanity was enslaved. The Badoon wiped out all but 50 million humans, whom they kept around to use for manual labor. Shortly after Earth fell to the Badoon invasion, Vance Astro, Charlie 27, Martinix, and Yondu were each brought together as they struggled against the Badoon occupation and was covered in my Guardians of the Galaxy first appearance video. Over the course of the next 8 years, they managed to steal the only remaining ship in Earth's Starfleet, the Captain America. In Marvel 2-in-1 Volume 1, Issue number 5, published in 1974, an Earthwoman named Terran was accidentally brought back in time from the year 3014 by Reed Richards' time machine. After hearing her story, Captain America demanded that Reed Richards return the woman and himself to the year 3014. Sharon Carter, an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Ben Grimm insisted on going with him. The three heroes led a solo assault against the Badoon capital, while Terran convinced what remained of the free colony that now was the time to join together in rebelling. With the help of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Captain America, Sharon, and Ben were successful in liberating New York from the Badoon. Many died on both sides of the battle that day, but they were successful in capturing Drang, the supreme commander of the eastern section of the Badoon Empire. Still, this victory was only one victory over one city on one planet. Earth's federation was spread across a dozen planets, and the rest of Earth still remained under Badoon control. This takes us back to the Defenders issue number 26, where a young Vance Astro has become upset that the same thing could happen to Earth, but his older alternate self proclaims that the future isn't predestined and that his younger self can alter the shape of things to come. Vance is ready to go home and worried that his folks will be looking for him. Doctor Strange assists by sending Vance home, and at the same time ensuring that he will remember nothing of the history lesson Major Astrovik just finished recounting. After hearing their story, Doctor Strange offers the help of the Defenders to free Earth-691 from the heavy hand of the Badoon Empire. Amazingly, Doctor Strange is capable of returning the starship back to orbit and transporting all of them through the multiverse and time to the year 3015 of Earth-691. How does the Badoon Empire fall? Who is Starhawk, and how does he become a member of the Guardians of the Galaxy? I'll cover all that in the next episode of Cosmic Comics. In the meantime, feel free to hit any of the buttons below. I'm out.